Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the hard, absolutely fascinating science from America's top health institutions to help you finally master your body's internal clock. Look, if you've ever felt like you just can't get your sleep on track no matter what you do, you are in exactly the right place. So let's just jump right in. I want to start by throwing a question right back at you. Are you actually sleeping, or are you just resting? This right here touches on a massive modern epidemic. In our fast-paced world, sleep problems are just incredibly common. So many of us spend plenty of time lying in bed, tossing and turning, yet we still wake up feeling completely exhausted. Well, why is that? As we're going to see from the research, just logging time under the covers definitely does not automatically equal true restorative sleep. 7 to 9. That is the single uncompromising number you've got to remember today. When it comes to how much time we actually need, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine and the Sleep Research Society are crystal clear. Healthy adults require a strict target of 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. It's not a luxury, and honestly, it's not a gentle suggestion. It is a hard, biological baseline required for your body to function at its absolute best. Now, if you're ever tempted to shortchange yourself just to squeeze a little more into your busy day, you really need to consider the stakes. The CDC has found that regularly getting under 7 hours of sleep literally spikes your risk for high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and depression. It's intense. But on the flip side, when you actually hit that sleep target, you're acting as your own best medicine. You're actively repairing your immune system, sharpening your memory, and vastly improving your mood and concentration. It's a total game changer. So to reliably get those amazing benefits, we have to look at the incredibly precise machinery inside us, the circadian rhythm. Think of this as your human body's master internal biological clock. It regulates your whole sleep-wake cycle. Your body is basically a highly complex machine running on this clock. And here's the kicker: we are constantly setting, or sometimes totally tricking this machine with our daily habits, often without even realizing we're doing it. Because, restorative sleep doesn't just magically happen the second your head hits the pillow. It's an ongoing 24-hour cycle. We can actually track a chronological day in the life of restorative sleep, starting with morning sunlight, moving into afternoon movement, all the way down to an evening wind-down. By walking through this timeline, we're going to see exactly how your daily actions actively program this biological machine for either success or failure.
Okay, phase 1, morning, setting your clock.
I know it might sound kind of counterintuitive when you're still wiping the sleep out of your eyes, but preparing for a great night of sleep actually begins the exact moment you wake up. The National Institutes of Health issues a very clear directive here. Get exposure to morning sunlight. Why? Because the moment natural light hits your eyes, it immediately slams the brakes on the production of sleep hormones. That morning light sends a powerful, undeniable signal to your brain that the day has officially begun, which locks in your sleep patterns and makes it significantly easier to crash when night finally rolls around. Moving on to phase 2, afternoon, moving and fueling. As we get into the middle of the day, how we physically move our bodies directly impacts our ability to successfully power down later on. Findings from Johns Hopkins Medicine show that regular exercise, we're talking a moderate walk, cycling, maybe a light jog, helps your body use its energy efficiently, and that process makes easing into sleep so much easier at night. But there's a vital warning here. You've got to avoid intense workouts right before bed. Actually, scratch that. Any aggressive late-night exercise can completely wire your body, having the exact opposite effect and making sleep a total nightmare to achieve. Then, of course, there's the fuel we choose to consume. Harvard Medical School warns us about a super common afternoon trap: caffeine. Coffee, tea, energy drinks, diet sodas, they're staple for so many of us, right? But Harvard researchers emphasize that caffeine remains active in your system for hours. In fact, caffeine has a half-life of about 5 hours. To put that into perspective, that means your 2 p.m. energy drink is still 50% active in your brain at 7 p.m. It's not just a harmless little pick-me-up, it is actively interfering with your body's natural sleep cycle long after you've thrown the empty can away. Which brings us to phase 3, evening, winding down right. We really need to slow down our pacing here, because this is the critical window where modern technology and our daily anxieties actively fight against the biological clock we've been trying so hard to set properly all day. Studies from various American universities pinpoint stress, anxiety, and excessive worry as some of the absolute biggest roadblocks to sleep. To combat this, you need active stress reduction techniques. Meditation, prayer, reading a real book, listening to calming music, or deep breathing exercises. Look, these aren't just nice little hobbies. They are proven physiological signals that tell your biological machine the day is finally done. And that brings us to the science of melatonin, the vital hormone responsible for regulating your sleep. But studies from the CDC and the NIH reveal a massive modern roadblock for this hormone. When you stare at your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, or the TV, the blue light emitted from those screens actively suppresses your melatonin production. It literally tricks your brain into thinking the sun is still up. No wonder falling asleep becomes such a struggle, right? So what's the fix? It comes down to two numbers, 30 to 60. Lock this crucial window in your mind. The experts say you absolutely must give your brain 30 to 60 completely screen-free minutes before bedtime. It's a non-negotiable if you really want to optimize your rest. You have to remove that blue light barrier so those natural sleep hormones can properly activate and do the job they were designed to do. Finally, Phase 4, your ideal sleep environment. We've finally reached the end of the day. And listen, your bedroom can't just be a place where you happen to drop your bags and pass out. It must be a physical space biologically optimized to support that clock you've spent all day carefully setting. The National Sleep Foundation has a really straightforward checklist for building this sanctuary. Keep it quiet, make it dark, ensure it's cool and comfortable, and keep it totally distraction-free. By eliminating the noise and dialing in your environment, you're creating a dedicated space that promotes serious physical and mental repair. To tie this whole explainer together, we've got this golden rule from the researchers at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. The ultimate key to keeping this incredibly complex biological clock perfectly aligned is a rigorously consistent daily schedule. Doing this makes falling asleep and waking up feel completely natural rather than a daily uphill battle. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. Are you working with your internal clock today or against it? Remember, restorative sleep is a 24-hour cycle. It's the morning sunlight you get, it's how you move your body in the afternoon, and it's how you manage those screens at night. I challenge you to pick just one scientific habit from this explainer today, whether that's the 30-minute screen ban or finally stepping outside for that morning light, and apply it right now. Understanding the science is just the first step. Putting it into practice is how you actually master your internal clock. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.